There is a mighty spirit crossing a barren land. God's sowing love unceasing. Fresh fruit springs from the sand. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this place. Take over our minds. Take over our hearts and our spirits and our souls. Cover us. Cover us in your love. For I know that right where we are, God is. There is no separation. There is no disconnect. God is, I am, we all are, and all is well. And I know that right where our family is, God is. Right where our fathers are, God is. Our mothers, our children, our siblings, our grandchildren, and our friends. For we are all connected as one in the life of God and in the love of God. And so I know that this moment is blessed. This moment is perfect. This moment is whole and it is complete in the mind and in the experience of God, as well as each and every one of us. So I am grateful. I am grateful for this service. I am grateful for our teams of ministers, of practitioners, our board of trustees, our volunteers, our ministries. I am grateful. For I know that we are all together in this sweet love, this sweet devotion of God, living and breathing and being together as one. And for that, I just give thanks. I give thanks for this moment. I give thanks for this service. I give thanks that you chose this moment to tune in, to listen, and to be in congregation with all of us. I release these words knowing that everything is good, everything is well, everything is perfect, everything is whole, and everything is complete. And so it is, and it is so. Sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place. Take over this
this place, sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place, take over this, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, take over this place, take over this, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit, take over this place, take over this, sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, sweet Spirit, take over this place, 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 take over this place.
Yes, yes, take over this place. Good morning, East Bay. Good morning and happy Sunday. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning on our Sunday morning celebration. If you are desiring prayer, if you're wanting to share something with one of our practitioners, please join us after this service for our virtual prayer room. At this time, we are going to cite our church's affirmation, which is God is the only power. Please read along with me on your screen. We're going to say this in unison. God is the only power in my life. Nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within me. No past experience has power over me. I am a perfect child of God, and nothing that anyone has ever done or said can interfere with my divine inheritance. The power of God is greater than any circumstance in my life. The strength of God is mine to use. Turning away from all feelings of inadequacy, I discover that all that I need is within me right now. As I forgive the past, I find that I have nothing to atone for and nothing to run away from. Casting off the old me, I discover my true self. I take dominion in my life. Old habits have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. I take dominion. I am whole. I am free. I am complete. Now and forevermore. And so it is. Yes. Now and forevermore. Yes. Yes. And so right now, in this moment, it is my sincere pleasure and delight to welcome our speaker. Our irreverent Reverend, as we lovingly call her, is a voice, a leader, an activist, and is a strength in form. I am grateful for her willingness, her groundedness, and her ability to continue to speak the truth from a place of spirit-fueled transparency. I am excited and delighted to introduce East Bay's own Rev Dereca Blackmon.
All right, I got my own microphone. That's what they tell me I gotta have. We're gonna be safe and safer today. Thank you so much, Ona. And thank you to Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection with Mark Rickey on keys, Lee Henderson on bass, and Marlon Green on percussion. My name, as has been said, is Rev Dereca Blackmon. I use she and they pronouns, and I always like to let you know what gender pronouns I use because you can't tell what they are by looking at me. I want to just continue to start this service with gratitude. Gratitude for all of the ministers at East Bay, the board members, the practitioners, the volunteers, the folks who show up here every Sunday, my brother J.J. Harris, and also we want to thank Brett Richards, our brother Josiah in the parking lot, Arlene, and of course Ona, who set the tone for today. We've got Laretha and Sandy on virtual vigil, Stacy on virtual prayer box, and Al Gibson, who is our coordinator. So there is a mighty team of people coming together to bless this service. But our greatest blessing is you. We thank you because there are a lot of places you could be on Sunday morning or whenever you are watching this, and we want you to know that wherever you are, we are right there with you. I am so grateful to be a part of this ministry and this community. And when I was talking to Sharon about the music that we would bring today, I was thinking about this moment in time and thinking about what is the call for us for our lives. And I think we found the perfect song. And so I invite Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection to bring you Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Wake up, everybody.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. 'Cause they're the ones who's coming up, the world is in their hand. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it if we all lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out, they do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. No, 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 no. The world won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah, just you and me. You and me, just you and me. We gotta change the world, just you and me. Come on and wake up, everybody. Come on and wake up, everybody. Come on and teach it, start your teaching. Come on and preach it, keep right on preaching. Come on, builders, start your building. And believers, keep on believing. Come on and march, keep right on marching. Come on and wake up, everybody. And wake up, everybody. We gotta change the world. We gotta change the world. We gotta change the world. 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 won't get no better. We gotta change it, yeah. Just you and me. Just you and me. Just you and me. Just you and me. We've gotta change the world. Just you and me. We can't do it alone. It takes you and me. Just you and me. Just you and me.
Wake up, everybody. Sharon D. Henderson and Reflection. Mark Ricky on keys, Lee Henderson on bass, and Marlon Green on percussions. Thank you. Thank you for bringing us this powerful reminder that we can and we have to change the world. My topic today is spirituality and patriotism. We've got to answer the question, what does one have to do with the other? So many of us are walking around in our world today kind of in a little bit of a fog, in a haze of pain, asking what is happening. But I have good news. The old way is dying. That is what is happening, and what we are seeing is what we call the last gasp of a dying man. We are recognizing that a thing that is old and past its time is fighting for its life. We are watching people who are terrified, who are afraid. And how and why are they afraid? Because we told them that they ought to be. Remember when we were in power and we said, oh, 2050 is coming and you are going to be the minority, how we gloated at their powerlessness. And now they are fighting back with every single breath. They feel like we're trying to take their guns from people who are relying on violence as a force for oppression. Why are they so angry? How can they be this way? We keep asking ourselves. It is because they are subject to the same great 4th of Julys that all of us have been subject to. They have been bought a false bill of goods. They have been sold a dream that has been for so many an absolute nightmare from the beginning. See, it was all built on a lie. The whole thing was fake from the beginning. It was not a declaration of independence. It was a hypocrisy. Right from the beginning. How can we declare independence when we had millions of people stolen to work on stolen lands, when there was genocide for Native people and enslavement for African people, and women were still property, and queer and disabled people were either vilified or invisible? What kind of independence did we build? It was impossible for this thing to succeed because it was built on a falsehood from the beginning. And so now we have the terror, the fear, the awakening of a sleeping giant that has said, I want my old way back. I want my old way back. I was watching a commentator on the right, a guy named, I think it's Dan Bongino. And I don't even watch this kind of stuff. I try to keep my consciousness clear of the debate. But a friend of mine had posted it on Facebook, and something, y'all know what that something is, right? The Spirit of God. Something compelled me to watch it. And as I was watching this man talking, he is a right pundit, conspiracy theorist, former Secret Service, testifying in Congress about the need for the police. And I watched him and I actually felt compassion for his pain. He was sad. He teared up. He said, we don't want to fight. We just want to take our family out to dinner once a week, maybe before we die, pay off our mortgage. We don't want to be involved in all these politics. And we will not pledge allegiance, he said, to a movement that says fry the pigs. That's how he saw Black Lives Matter. He said, I was one of those pigs they wanted to fry. And I gave my life in service to others, and I sat there listening to his idea of what a dream is. And I realized that he was completely unaware of the lack of opportunity. He just does not believe that that dream was not extended to all. That great country, that Declaration of Independence, I really want to invite you to actually read the Declaration of Independence, because it's kind of not at all what we think it is. All we think about is that preamble, but really, in fact, it's a big list of complaints about King George. That's really what it was from the beginning. And from the beginning, there was a passage that was included by Thomas Jefferson about slavery, and people fought from day one to take it out. They knew what they were doing. They said all men are created equal. They knew who they were leaving out from the beginning. So this worship of our forefathers, this lionization, this deifying of those people is just fake. And so many people, and not just white people, people from all over the world, what did they say? Bring me your tired and hungry. Bring me. This is what the Statue of Liberty was all about. The people were going to come here and be free. And from the beginning, every single group that came was oppressed. The Irish were treated badly. All the people who came were told that we had Asian people in prison camps and forced to do labor on the railroads. Everybody who came was told, you're not white. You know the Irish people used to not be white. Because the beginning was about a replication of the same quote-unquote evils of the British Empire. So we got away from that, and then we came here and just replicated it. We replicated it with the colonization, the genocide against Native people, the enslavement. All of those things we brought into the very base, the very fabric of this country. And so when we talk about this celebration, when you insist on dressing up and placing in your lawn your blood-soaked flag, I will wear the mourning of all black and unapologetically take a knee. I protest. I protest this idea, this lie that this is the greatest country on earth. What does that mean about our stance about every other country? Why did we buy in from the beginning of this competitive war-like nature that we're going to take war to other places so they can have peace? What is this illogical foundation this country is built on? But we can't stay in the problem. We have got to start answering the question that is burning in so many of our minds. What can I do? What can I do about this? It seems so insurmountable. It seems so impossible to make a difference. Well, I'm going to tell you a few things that you can do today. The number one thing we've got to do as a nation is tell the truth. The only way to drive out the darkness is with the light. The only way to circumvent and subvert a lie is with the truth. We're going to have to tell the truth now. We're going to have to stop acting like we're surprised by racism. We're not surprised. You know the history. You know the stories. And I've got to ask you an important question. If racism is a disease, who is the carrier? Oh, you don't want to hear it? It's important that we take a hard look at ourselves and stop acting like the problem needs to be solved by other people. It's our problem. It's our collective problem. You want one people, one thought, one mind, one America, then start telling the truth. Telling the truth about the fact that Karen been calling the police on everybody from kindergartners to bird watchers for generations. This ain't nothing new. Tell the truth. Tell the truth about what you've seen when we weren't there. Tell the truth about what you've done when no one was watching. Tell the truth about what you believe, because that way is over. And the only way we will truly end it is to admit that we were complicit in it, that we are complicit in it, to look in the mirror and say, I am done. So I say to you, those who want to do something, physician, heal thyself. Start there. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is get off our high horse. There is this way in which we have continued to tell this lie that we are better than everybody else. I'm going to tell you something that broke my heart. My brother recently shared with me that he had become a Trump supporter. Now, you know this felt completely illogical and offensive to my whole way of being, but let me tell you the story of why. He said to me, I cannot stand the hypocrisy of the left. There is no way that one man can be the demon that everyone is making him out to be. I don't believe it. I had to find out and question for myself. He said, these are people, the left are people who have been pushing these policies for decades, but now they want to act all holier than thou, like this thing that he's doing is something they've never done. Now, that's not good logic for me, but I understand what he's talking about because I started watching a little bit of how we move and what we say, and I am a little afraid that we are becoming the thing that we think we are trying to overthrow. We are angry at people who are saying out loud things that we thought 5 minutes ago. Don't act like it wasn't white women who put Trump in office. It can't be all of them. It's got to be some of us. Don't be mad. Be clear. Come down off the high horse of criticizing the protesters. My people are in pain. Age-old pain, centuries-old pain. How dare we criticize the way they express that pain because we broke some windows? If you are sitting around talking about how these strategies don't work, how it is not okay for people to destroy property, how it is not okay, what are we going to do if we defund the police? If that is the best thing that you have to offer, get off your couch and out your armchair and come up with a better strategy. Get off that high horse. Get off that high horse of spiritual bypass that says our thinking is more evolved than this. We need to focus only on what is positive. We cannot heal what we cannot face. We cannot heal what we cannot face. And if we are going to heal this thing, and I believe that we are going to heal this thing, then we are going to have to get off of the mountaintop and come down where the people are and recognize that we are one of them and we are going to have to do better than we have done before. It is on us. It has always been on us. We believe that if we change our thinking, we can change the world. Well, it's time we get in here and prove it. And last but not least, I'm going to tell you one of the hardest things that we are going to have to do is we are going to have to give up power. I was talking to a friend of mine, an Indian friend of mine, and he was talking to me about the dismantling of the caste system in India. Right? A system that said people by birth were automatically lower and given less opportunity. Sound familiar? And he started telling me about why and how the caste system was broken down and overthrown in India. I'm not saying India is perfect. I'm saying they were intentional. This is what he told me. They were intentional, and they understood from the beginning that in order to change this system, somebody was going to have to give up power. Somebody was going to have to be a teacher instead of a millionaire. Somebody was going to have to give access to someone who hadn't had access before. And the end result was going to look like equality. And I'm going to tell you something. If you have had privilege, equality looks like dissent. It looks like discrimination, because if we're all going to be equal, some people can no longer be above. We're going to have to give up power. We're going to have to divest, y'all. We're going to have to divest from capitalism and this way in which we worship money and the conglomerates, and we're going to have to start investing our money in local businesses. And I'm going to say specifically in Black-owned businesses, how are we going to get equality if we don't raise up those who have been the most oppressed? We're not. We're not. I'm going to say that we have to divest from broken systems like policing and prisons, broken systems like immigration and voter suppression. None of these systems have been working for a very long time. There's all kinds of research and evidence that say they're not working, and we cling to them because we do not have the vision of something better and something greater, but that time has come to an end. It's not just defund the police. It's not just abolish the police. It's replace the police. That's what we've got to be talking about. We're going to have to give up some of the power we have given away. We're going to have to give up the power of broken ideas. What is it to say we're the greatest country? What is it to say we're the best? What is it to say we're the mightiest? It's to say that our vision is to oppress. Our vision is to compete. We're going to have to give up the idea that guns and violence and prisons and police are making us safer. They never have. They never have. I don't care what Mr. Friendly is doing in your neighborhood. What he's been doing in my neighborhood means we're all unsafe, because until all of us are free, none of us are free. Emma Lazarus said it. Dr. King said it. Maya Angelou said it. When are we going to listen to it? We've got to give up, divest from these broken ideas that our schools ought to be funded by our tax base, which essentially means rich people ought to have better schools, better everything. What is that idea? It is poison to equality and justice. We're going to have to give up and divest from these ideas that Black and brown people are violent, are threatening. I want to tell you a story. I was talking to a group of Black women, and one of the women said that when she is with her son, people are always telling her that he's big for his age. And she says it makes her so uncomfortable because he's not. He's not big for his age. It's just that he's already at 8 years old being seen as a threat. This outsized idea of the violent, big, aggressive, threatening man, this thing has got to be let go so that we can stop building more prisons, more police, and choking people to death. We got to let go and divest from these broken ideas. But I have good news. I didn't just come here to y'all with the gloom and doom, because the good news is that a new day is dawning. There is a new idea of what this country can be. There is hope like there has never been hope before. The jealous white male God is over, and Mama Gaia is taking her rightful place to balance the entire universe. It's over. The new day has already come. Black Lives Matter is the biggest movement in history. And I'm going to tell you something that shocked even me. 2/3 of the United States supports Black Lives Matter. Two different research, Kaiser and Pew, did polls. 2/3 of this country, it is all in our minds. It is all in our fixation with those we believe are our enemy, those who we believe are against us. That is what is making us afraid. Well, we don't have any reason to be afraid, because we are the moral majority that people have been claiming so falsely, so brokenly for the last 50 years. I'm going to tell you something else that shocked me. I got so much good news, I don't even know how to contain it. In the 41 days since George Floyd has been killed, was murdered, nearly $2 billion has been invested in the Black community. Did you hear what I said? $2 billion. I started counting it up and I couldn't find it. I found more and more and more and more. And that's just what I could count from the major corporations. PayPal gave $530 billion to invest in Black-owned businesses. Netflix gave $100 billion, just transferred $100 billion to Black-owned banks. And Reed Hastings, their CEO, gave another $120 million of his personal money to HBCUs. You better have some hope in your heart right now. YouTube gave $100 million to build Black media. Apple gave $100 million to racial justice, and the NFL, come on somebody, $250 million for Black Lives Matter. Now, not the organization, because we still ain't got that far yet, but the idea, right? And that was the players who did this, because everything that we are doing, protesting, advocating, policy reshaping, all of it, praying, it's all making a difference. So don't lose heart now, because we are winning. People are making Juneteenth a company-wide holiday. Lord, those of us who have been celebrating Juneteenth with a barbecue are like, did you hear? They get the paid holiday. I know a company that didn't give MLK off that is giving Juneteenth off. We have renamed NASA headquarters after a Black woman at Rhode Island took the word plantation out of their official name. The LA and New York police departments, I don't mean just some police departments, I'm talking about the most notoriously racist, vicious, violent police departments in the country, are talking about diverting funds to education and mental health care. Because when we have been calling these police, half the time it's on people who just need support. Can you imagine if people got therapy instead of threats? What would this world be like? You want to call folks peace officers, let them bring the peace. But even they need help. They're not trained to deal with mental health cases. And so if all you have is a hammer, everybody looks like a nail. And so it's time for us to make some changes. If LAPD and NYPD can talk about banning chokeholds and no-knock warrants, I don't know what to tell you. And Minneapolis, Lord God bless them, just disbanded the police altogether. They just said, we're going to have to start over and find a real way, a true way to provide safety for our people. Prince, y'all know, would be proud. It's our time. It's our time, people of faith. We have been languishing too long in the idea that we cannot overcome. I can't tell you the number of people I know who are sad, who are tired. This is no time to give up. It is darkest before the dawn. And yes, if you are paying attention in this country, you know that the people who are afraid are armed and violent. You think Karen is bad, but you wait until Kim put a gun in her hand. You're starting to see it already in the parking lots. And I know some of y'all getting mad about the use of the term Karen, and it's the pejorative, or what is that thing y'all used to say, call a spade a spade? This is the term that we are using to call out the phenomenon of someone who is willing to call the police based on race. And do you know that Andrew Cuomo has proposed a law to make that illegal for you to do? I mean, some days I just feel like I have walked into Alice in Wonderland's upside down reality, but that's all right, because if we are the people of faith that we say we are, we knew this day was coming. I mean, did you really, really mean that there was only one of us and that God was the only power that is? Because I'm going to tell you, it's the time to prove what it is that we believe. It's time to prove what it is that we believe. We get to actually decide if there is only one of us, no matter what political party people are in. Because it is not going to help us to vilify those people who think differently than us is how we got here in the first place. It's the lie that the country was built on. And if you want a different country, you've got to stop telling the same lie. We have to prove now that faith without works is dead, that it is not enough for us to sit here in religious science and treat. We also have to move our feet. We have to prove that the same power power we use to cure our body of cancer, come on, religious science, that same power will cure our mind of racism. You better prove it. I don't want a religion that cannot prove that this is a science. What did Ernest Holmes say? It's done to us as we believe. So what is being done to us can be undone by our faith, by our belief. We have to believe that until all of us are free, none of us are free. And I just want you to understand that that includes our trans folks who are still being murdered by our own communities. It includes our people with disabilities. It includes our poor people. It includes our women. It includes all of those people who are oppressed, because collectively, the people who have been oppressed are the majority. So we've got to get free for the planet, free for the people, free for the spirit, because the spirit has always been free. We've got to prove what it is that we believe, and then, and only then, can we argue, can we believe, can we have faith in the confidence that it is self-evident for all people, that they are given the inalienable right, all people, for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
This one and that one, each one is God's gift to the world. There are no extra people in a mansion or a ghetto. From where you start your journey to anywhere you go. So look across the ocean, see those on the distant corners, or see the one beside you. Look in their eyes long enough and you will know.
And right here, where we are, we recognize the presence and the impenetrable power of God. That thing that is known in so many cultures by so many names. I'm not interested in what we call it. I'm interested that right now, in this time of change, of prosperity, of absolute vision, we call upon it. We call upon it right now, and we recognize that the truth about what it is the truth about who we are. I am that power that God is. My voice, my body, my work, my mind, it is the hands, the feet, the instruments of the Most High God. I am the way God shows up in this plane, and as is true for me, it's true for each and every one of us, because there is only one of us. And as we recall and remember and move from the truth that there is only one of us, we change the world. And so I declare that the world is already changed. It's been changed in my mind for so long, and I'm so grateful that I lived for a time such as this to begin to see the shift like none had ever imagined would happen in our lifetime. But our imagination is not even as great as God's. We just bring this seed of a mustard faith, this seed, and we plant it in the perfect soil that must produce what we declare. We plant this seed not just of reform but of revolution, because we recognize that the old way no longer serves. It is dying, it is dead, it is gone, and a new thought takes form. It takes its place, and a new way of being, a new idea of what a country is, the actual presence of equality and justice and freedom is built by love, and I love what is happening now. I love the possibilities of now. I want a new flag, a new idea. I want something that represents the newness of this moment, the bud of a perfect plant, planted from a perfect seed, given to a perfect God that perfects everything that concerns each and every one of us. So I'm just giving thanks now. I'm giving thanks for faith. I'm giving thanks for those that have been praying, been working, been struggling, been achieving, been knowing. I'm giving thanks for great grandmas and little children who see something better and bigger than this. And I'm doing the most important thing that I can do. I'm getting my bloated nothingness out of the way, my ego out of the way, my fear out of the way, my small thinking out of the way, my criticisms out of the way. I'm getting out of the way of the idea that over there is the enemy and over there is the threat, and recognizing that everything that I see is the reflection of the conflict within me. And I don't know how to heal it all, but I know who does. And I turn it over. I turn it over to that divine energy within myself that knows that I know that I know, and I call upon it in each and every person on this planet. Because there is no spot, no heart, no body, no mind where God is not the only power. And so I release this word to the perfect activity of the light and the love and the law. And I know it's done, and it's done so very well in God. And I anchor it by saying, Ashe, Amen, and so it is.
We are, and they are. Each one is God's gift to the world. And all the lonely people, the first ones and the last ones, all the great and small ones, those that win and lose, and all of the remember, even the forgotten, from every single nation. I believe these words are true for me and you. They are. And each one is God's gift to the world. This one and that one, each one is God's gift to the world.
Yes. Oh, so much gratitude for Sharon D. Henderson on vocals and reflection, Mark Ricky on keys, Lee Henderson on bass, and Marlon Green on percussion. Just show them gratitude right where you are. For just reminding us that each one of us is God's gift to the world. And it's an opportunity for us to figure out, what is my gift? What can I give? Who can I give it to? Where can I give it? Do that inner work. And if you are called upon to give your gift right here to the East Bay Church of Religious Science, I invite you to do so, to be a part of this movement, of this community that is feeding our homeless and feeding our souls. This work, if it's your work, you can see on your screen now ways to graciously give. You can text East Bay to 501-55. You can go online and give on our website. You can set up a recurring gift. And what that does is it says we can count on you. We can build the future based upon the fact that we know you are going to be here, whether you're watching or not. You can mail. It's all right. You could just put a check in the mail if you prefer, and that address is right there for you, as well as our contact information. It's important for you to know that we're here and that wherever you are, we're here. And right now, our practitioners are coming together to pray for you, pray with you. Our prayer room is open every Sunday. We have one-on-one prayer spaces that we create. You should see the information in your chat box. And what our practitioners do is they hold the truth. See, we don't have to look outside for a divine energy, because we look at each other and we see it and we feel it, and we know that thing that is the ocean of spirit, that thing, we are a cup of that thing, and we know the truth for each and every one of us. And there is also monthly visioning that is happening. It's this Sunday, July 5th, today at 1 o'clock. We're going to sit in the field of unconditional love. You know, Rumi said, beyond right and wrong, there's a field, and I will meet you there. Let's meet there today at 1 o'clock so that we can have visioning and opportunity to go beyond reacting to what's right in front of us and vision an entirely new world. Reverend Michael Beckwith says, pain pushes until vision pulls. Have we had enough pain now? Are we ready to be pulled forward by the vision of what can be, what's coming to be, what's already breathing? Let's nurture that for each and every one of us. I'm so grateful that you decided to watch this service, to be a part of this moment of change for our world. Our whole world is changing. Millions of people have taken to the street and said the old way is over. I'm grateful that I know if you're here, you're one of them. I'm so grateful. And I just want to recognize, as we turn to Sharon D. Henderson and reflection once again, that the only way we will ever be able to do this is if we do it together.
For the busted heart, this is for the question marks, this is for the outcast soul, lost control, no one knows. Sing it for the can't go back, sing it for the broken past, sing it for the just found out life is now upside down. If you're looking for hope tonight, raise your head. If you're feeling alone and don't understand, if you're fighting in a fight of your life and just stand, we're gonna make it through this hand in hand. And if we fall, we will fall together, together. Second chance. This is for the new romance. This is for the broken pain you overcame. It's not too late. If you're looking for hope tonight, raise your hand. If you're feeling alone and don't understand, if you're fighting in the fight of your life, and then stand. We're gonna make it through this hand in hand. And if we fall, we will fall together, together. And when we rise, we will rise together, together. together. If we fall, we will fall together. Together. And when we rise, we will rise together. Together.